Yes, sir. Welcome back to the garage. All right, so we got the variant Xenons here, you guys. These were recently painted by Prince Wheels here in Charlotte, North Carolina. They were gold, and we went with a satin black. So these look really, really good. Today we're gonna go ahead and ceramic coat them with sea quartz. This stuff is awesome, works really, really well. Super easy to lay on. I'm just gonna do one wheel and show you guys how to do it, and then I'll go ahead and do the rest of them. And then I believe at the end of this video, we'll also put in the mounting of these onto my Michelins and finally onto the car, and we can see the difference. So I have tread connection coming tomorrow morning to go ahead and do that. I figured today, while they're off the car, freshly painted, the best time to go ahead and ceramic coat them. I'm currently running the gloss black 437Ms, which I absolutely love. I'm gonna leave the tires on I have another set of tires for these new wheels, but I'm gonna leave these tires and wheels together so I have this package for whenever I wanna run it. This is a fantastic daily setup, just like daily driving. These are forged and super, super light. So these are going to be this is gonna be my track setup. I'm gonna run this for the track. So let's go ahead and ceramic coat these. Show you guys how to do it, it's really easy. We'll go ahead and wipe these down first with some isopropyl. You just take some of this beautiful sauce right here, pour it onto an applicator pad, lay it on there. I think I'll do 2 sets per wheel. I'm gonna do the fronts, the faces, all of it, even including the barrels. The barrels, I make sure that I coat it on really, really good. And then we'll go ahead and wait for that to cure. Then we'll level it out with a microfiber towel, and we will do that process twice for each wheel. So. So that one is fully coated. I'm gonna go ahead and start on the next one, and then in a few minutes I'll come back and level that out with a microfiber towel and just kind of get rid of all of the uneven layers of ceramic. And then we just let it coat. We just let that sit overnight. After I do a second round of the exact same thing, I'm gonna let it sit overnight, and then tomorrow we'll be good. It is also important to note that you'll notice this is a little bit more glossy now. This will glossen up whatever you put it on. So if you have like matte wheels and you put this on, it's definitely gonna turn it more into like a satin finish, like a sheen. Just a little bit more of a shine to a matte. That's just the nature of ceramic coating. It adds like a clear coat, essentially. I think it looks a lot better. It actually like deepens up the tone of it and gives it a really nice finish. Top of the morning to you guys. Here are the tires going on. We got tread connection just pulled up. We're about to be doing the swap over for the variants. These are freshly ceramic coated. If you guys are in the Charlotte area and you need tires put on, wheels balanced, any of that good stuff, tread connection, they'll actually come to you and do it right at your door. So those are the guys that I use. And then also my APR splitter showed up for the new lips, so we'll be talking about that later. The one thing is the center bore is a different size, so the BMW OEM cap doesn't fit on these, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. We'll just run the all black variant. Super excited to see these on the car. New day. At story time. We've got a story for you guys. So, I honestly wasn't even gonna make this video, but I was like, you know what? Why not? So as you guys see, I still have the 437M wheels on my car. The variants unfortunately did not fit. So why didn't they fit? Let's talk about it. These wheels, basically what we tried to do here with Variant and I tried to do here is take the wheels that were on the front of my E90 M3 and we were gonna use them for the back of the M2, and we thought that they would fit. Now I do take a bit of responsibility for this because honestly, before I went and had them painted and put the tires on and did all this work, I should have mounted them up to the car just to make sure, but I was kind of just relying on what Variant had told me, and they were like, oh yeah, you know, they'll fit. So they had gotten their information from someone that maybe wasn't the most reputable, and then I kind of just took that for face value. But realistically, at the end of the day, it's my car, it's my build, my wheels. I should have taken responsibility and put them up on the car. In my gut, like my gut was telling me, like, maybe before you spend money to get these painted, you should just throw the rear wheels on to make sure they fit. Because Variant sent me new wheels for the front, so we knew that those would fit. Back wheels, however, unfortunately, did not fit. They poked out about an inch, which some people, maybe you can get away with that. That's way too much poke for me. Like, I'm not having my wheels stick out an inch. I'm just not. I'm not into that. If anything, I like it flush or just a little bit inside of flush. Especially since these were to be like my track wheels. Definitely don't want them poking out. I want proper fitment all the way around, super flush, and no rubbing whatsoever without spacers. The other issue was we tried to run an 8.5 up front. With the 8.5 and the offset that we had up front, it fell a little bit short. Like, in order to get it to a good fitment, I would have had to run like a 10mm spacer. Again, something that I was trying to avoid all the way around. I guess it's two parts to blame, a little bit of Variant and a little bit of me, but at the end of the day, this is my car and it's my responsibility to make sure that parts fit correctly before I take liberty to take them to paint places and paint them and have tire people come out and mount tires. And at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. This all worked out. A buddy of mine has an M4, it's a newer M4 F82, a beautiful San Marino blue manual carbon top, like gorgeous spec. He came over yesterday and we were hanging out for a bit talking about his car. Anyways, he ended up buying the wheels because they fit the M4 perfectly. Miraculously, the sizes that we had worked perfectly on his car. So he wanted them, and I gave him a great deal on them. They're brand new, ceramic coated with tires. The tires are used, but they have plenty of life left in them, which is okay. To be honest with you guys, like, I love my 437Ms, and the reason that I was going to these wheels is because I didn't want to run spacers, and I just wanted to have a track setup. But now that I'm kind of rethinking it, I'm like, you know what? I've already ran these wheels like numerous times on my other cars, and I want to do something different. So Variant and I are gonna do something new. We're gonna do something a little bit different, a little more custom, that's a little more interesting. I wasn't extremely hyped about these wheels just because I've already ran them. So I do want to do something fresh and new. So at the end of the day, we learned something. A, always go with your gut. B, make sure that you always test fit. Make sure that even if, you know, the company that sends them to you says they'll fit, just throw them on the car. I should have just jacked the car up and thrown them on and like put some blocks underneath just to make sure that the fitment was good. It's not a big deal though. Variant made it right, and those are my guys. Continue to support them. They know what they're doing. It's just that they had received information from another person who had an M2 that maybe wasn't entirely correct, and then translating to my M2, it just was off. It wasn't perfect. They were completely willing to make everything right. Really cool dudes, and I continue to support them. So luckily these found a new home, just set up as is. I mean, they have TPMS sensors, ceramic coated, fresh new paint. They're brand new with tires. Like, my buddy got a complete steal on these. I'm not gonna tell you what I sold them to him for, but they're going to a home and they're gonna get used. So good on him. We will see these in the future on an M4. So I just figured I'd let you guys know because you kind of saw the process of the wheels getting painted and the ceramic coating and all of this stuff, and it led up to this point where we were kind of like, these don't fit. At the end of the day, not a big deal. These things happen. This is part of working on cars, and it's just the way it goes sometimes. But today what we were gonna do, let's head over back to the M2 garage. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna work on today. All right, so this is what we're working on today. If you guys look at my 437Ms, there's like this nasty adhesive from my old magnets, and it just looks absolutely terrible. Like, you have these beautiful white brakes, these beautiful brake rotors, these beautiful black wheels, and then like this eyesore of just like shit behind my black magnets. So I'm going to get that off today, and like, you can't just take alcohol and get it off. It won't come off with that. I basically have a tool that is it's like a rubber disc that you put on a drill, and it basically takes off adhesive and stuff like this. It's actually also really, really good for when you're changing out like spoilers and stuff. There's always that nasty 3M residue left behind underneath the spoiler. And if you've changed out your trunk lip spoiler before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But that stuff is really, really hard to get off, especially from the factory. So basically the way that you do that is you use this tool. All right, so I got my drill here, and this is in fact the tool. It's just a rubber wheel. It's a rubber wheel, and you just put it on the end of your drill, and it takes off adhesive. And this thing, I'm telling you guys, I have sat there for hours before trying to scrub off adhesive with isopropyl, like rubbing alcohol, different cloths, and this is the way to go. So there's a couple of things to note when you're doing this. When you're on paint, do not sit in one location for a long time. You will burn through the paint. This gets really, really hot. You basically just want to spin it over the adhesive as you go down the line. Now I go on like an angle like that, and I just move down the line, and it picks the adhesive right off. And it'll basically just melt it and throw it off. And then at the end of everything, once you have all that adhesive off, take a little bit of isopropyl and a rag, and you just wipe it out, and you're good. You might need to do a little bit of polishing, but don't stay in one place because you will burn through the paint. That is very, very important. I just want to note that right now so you guys don't go burning through your paint on all your cars. This guy is a lifesaver, and I've been using it for, I don't know, a year now. This thing is just awesome. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna go wheel by wheel, because unfortunately I have that adhesive on every single wheel. I'm gonna jack up the car, pull off each wheel piece by piece, and kind of show you me taking it off, because I am just like a freak OCD when it comes to these wheels, and it just looks so nasty having this like gross, I mean, look at that, dude. It's terrible. Like, this is just a beautiful wheel with a beautiful representation, like the calipers, just all this is so beautiful. And then you come down to this guy, and it's like, what happened? So, that's what we're doing today. That's what's on deck. Enjoy. All right, so this wheel has it right here. It's basically just like old adhesive, and then there's a little bit right here. So that's what we're gonna be taking off. And then I'm gonna go through and clean out this barrel because it's just filthy. All right. So basically just like melted all of it. Now, I'm gonna take some isopropyl, go over it. Isopropyl. So now we got a little bit left there, we'll go over it again. But you guys can see what's happening. It's obviously removing it. Almost there. Just a little bit more. Yes, this stuff will get everywhere. It's pretty filthy. So that's the idea of it. Got a little bit more I gotta pull off there, but it pulls off the adhesive. So I have this adhesive chunk right here that I gotta do. I got one right here. And basically, I'm just gonna go around to each wheel and do that. And it'll clean up the insides of all these. And then I'm also gonna wipe all these barrels down. In the future here, I'm gonna do a whole nother ceramic coating on these. I might go a little bit thicker on it because I think the barrels just take such a beating from all the road debris that it's really hard to keep them clean. But I think these wheels could use like a little bit of a refresh. All right, just threw this wheel back on, give it a nice little clean, just a quickie. And yeah, it looks good, a lot better. All of the residue is gone. Also went over the brake a little bit. But yeah, that's the idea, you guys. I'm just trying to clean it up, and I just wanted to share this with you guys because this tool, this little rubber wheel, is just a lifesaver when it comes to adhesive. So if you have like a trunk spoiler that you're taking off, or like a lip, or any kind of adhesive on your car, this thing is a game changer. Highly recommended. So I'll have that link down below, as well as with all the other stuff that you guys saw in the video, the tools, the ceramic coating. And yeah, it's kind of a bummer about the variant Xenons, but like I said, I actually really like the 437Ms on this car. I think they look great, and we're gonna do something new, something more custom, something more unique. So these are officially going to the new owner with the M4. Can't wait to see his car with these wheels on. It's gonna be sick. He came over yesterday and we test fitted them, and they were just, look so good. Black with that San Marino. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It looks nice. Anyways, you guys, I do realize that today's video is a little bit of a random one. Like, honestly, I was debating whether or not to even put this video out just because the wheels didn't go on the car, and I was like, you know what? I might as well turn this into something positive. Like, we had some ceramic coating in here, showed you how to do that. Have the rubber wheel working on the old 437Ms, cleaning them up, show you how to do that. So there is some value in this video. But I do want to go ahead and thank Variant for stepping up and trying to make this right, this whole situation with the wheels and sending me out the fronts and all that. Like, they really, their customer service is through the roof, like the best customer service when it comes to wheels, and that's why I continue to work with companies like that. Even though these didn't fit, they were like, just tell us what to do to make it right. Super, super cool when companies step up and take care of that. But at the end of the day, like I said before, you guys, this is also my responsibility and my fault. So I take the responsibility and the blame for this. I really should have put these up to the car and made sure they fit before I had them painted and mounted and all that. But it's all good. It worked out. They're going to a new home. Going to be on an M4, San Marino, beautiful manual carbon top M4. It's going to be sick. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe, comment down below, like this video, hit that bell notification, and just like that, this video's over, and we're out. Peace.